Hey, Pork Stooges! I might throw in my headphones because, the wind. But you see the new hairstyle and the new shades. Let me show you how dark these shades are. Check these babies out. Look at that. Look at the difference there. That's cool, isn't it? Okay, so you probably can hear me a lot better. Apparently it, stopped the last video, but now that my microphone is up in here, the wind won't be so killer. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of an update, and for the next story time, I'm gonna share a very special story to me. However, this is what has happened recently. Turn the time back to last Wednesday. My girlfriend and one of her friends decided to all just hang out, and we went and got dinner too. When it was time for them to leave, I wanted to spend more time with my girlfriend. I haven't seen her in a couple of days prior to this day. I couldn't go at her house because nieces and nephews were over, and I get it. Children, you know, especially with how bad of an example I am to children. Every time I see a child look at me, I have to make sure I'm not doing anything stupid because they will just mimic whatever I do. It just always happens without fail. So I called around for hotel rooms and just to see what we could get. All of the hotel rooms are either booked or the single beds are completely booked. We found one good one for a good price with 2 beds. We didn't really have a need for a second bed, but we jumped on the offer anyway. We went all the way up into the other city so that way we can drop my girlfriend's friend off and get my girlfriend's stuff and come back and get my stuff and then swing over to the motel. A couple of times I went and called them and just made sure that it was still available. And I think I annoyed them from the get-go because I called them so many times. But look, I was busy, and I wanted to make sure this night would go the way we want this night to go, okay? That's me. If I have a suspicion, you know, because other customers might go ahead and take my room from me. And I would need to know before we even get there, instead of being a sorry sack of shit. Or just sorry, because I'm not a sack of shit. These guys were, though. Let me tell you about it. When we got there, it was 80-something before tax. After tax, it was 90-something. I gave them a Benji. They wanted a deposit, so I gave him another Benji. Fine, whatever. It was another 100 for a deposit. And he wound up giving me $21 back. So I guess it wasn't really well, unless the deposit was the 100, and I don't know. All I know is I spent 2 Benjis on this room, got 21 profit. When we were loading our stuff into the room, my girlfriend had someone walk up to her with their dog and ask, "Can I have a cigarette?" Now, I was going into the room at the time, but I was coming back out to see what was going on. Also to get more stuff to load into the room. I didn't really think much of it at the time, but immediately, my girlfriend had gotten a really bad feeling. It wasn't like intention-wise to the person walking up to her. It was just something about tonight involving her. She told us that recently she's just been homeless. She went and tried to go online to look for someone to buy a room for her. Somebody online has agreed to it, and from the very beginning she said she just wanted to go to sleep and have some place dry to sleep. And it was a 2-bed room. Hers was too. The guy online agreed to not having, and it was mentioned multiple times that that was not what was happening. Well, she was still scared, and she just decided to sit next to us and smoke. The dude came out of the room eventually, decided to greet himself to us, and we played it off as if we were an old friend. That way he would just leave her alone. And you can tell in his eyes, by the way he walks, the energy he brings, you can just tell that he wanted something more than just a hotel room for her. They're probably wondering, why didn't she just leave? She doesn't have a car right now. The car is in the shop, and her husband is on his way, but, you know, walking can only get you so far so quickly. So we decided to all pack us all up, leave our stuff in the room and lock it, because, I mean, he doesn't have access to our room, and just leave. Now, on the way, while we were going, we saw him walking into the office. My girlfriend knew at that exact moment he was going to refund it. We picked the husband up, and we background checked them, made sure that we weren't going to go down for any crime. And when we came back, lo and behold, the room in question was refunded. But we had 2 beds, and now I'm starting to think we were here for a reason. My girlfriend and I talked it over. Let's just let them have another bed. The other one that we're not going to use either way. They haven't eaten in 3 days either, so I offered $20. She says I wouldn't ask for that, and it went kind of back and forth, and I wound up just saying here. And I gave it to her. Actually, I didn't do it. My girlfriend gave it to her and said, "It's yours to do as you wish." They wound up going, now, there's a Denny's right here where the motel is. It's just right there. So they wound up going to have dinner, her and her husband. Except her husband didn't eat that night. I don't know why he didn't. He didn't get much sleep either, but I mean, can you blame him? Been a long and productive before tonight, however many days, and you know, you just barely met someone. We're kind of strangers in their eyes, and they're kind of strangers in our eyes. I remember having a dream too, that there was my girlfriend, and then it was also my girlfriend, and there was also my girl. It was like a whole bunch of duplicates of the same girlfriend. The same exact person, tit for tat, same eye color, same voice, same memories and shit. When I woke up, I was just happy I wouldn't have that confusion. It was just a dream. And housekeeping had rushed us out of the room, right into the sunrise. Now we know that they have to check out time is, however, whatever the time is, but none of us were even awake yet. I decided to go ahead and tell the guy at the office the truth as to what happened last night. Apparently it was against the policy to let someone else into the room if you hadn't have said something beforehand. But the room costs what the room costs. It doesn't matter however many occupants are in here. But I get that's the policy anyway. You're probably thinking, oh, it's stupid for you to say that, well, they got security cameras. They're going to find out either way. Might as well be honest about it. I wanted my 100 back from the deposit. They refused to give it to me. Matter of fact, they charged me 20 extra. It was me profiting $1 because he gave me $21. Some bullshit. And I'm not buying that shit. So I got the police involved. Hey, I said I was going to, and they still refused to give me 100, so I'm not going to just leave an empty threat. We wound up telling the story to the officer, and he just went in there and asked, why can't he have his 100 back? So the guy at the office was happy to give me my 100, as long as, you know, I would give him 20. Okay, whatever, 80's better than $1. So he was gonna give me 80, and I told him, no, I'll give you one of my 20s. You give me that extra Benji, that same exact one that I gave you for the deposit. I want that same exact one. So, that was our agreement. We were both happy. The funniest part about that whole day was he still wound up giving me 100. Technically. After we left, we also realized, since we were in such a rush, we left one very important thing in that room. On that Wednesday, when it was me and my girlfriend and her friend, the day before it, so Tuesday, I had given her a necklace. And it was very, very important and special to her. It was the first necklace that I ever gave her. And she didn't want to leave without it. We wound up technically leaving. Coming back and trying to get it. They had refused that they even were in possession of it. They've already cleaned the room. So housekeeping has surely found it. But still they refused to have any possession of it. We checked all of our bags, we checked everywhere in the house, we checked the car, we checked everything. Couldn't find it for dick. She wanted to get the police involved with this too. And I would love to say that the story ended with them actually giving us back what is ours, or hers. But they were just pieces of shit. The principle of the fact that they took something that wasn't theirs, and it was very important to my girlfriend. She wound up in tears. I remember the exact cleaning guy coming out of the office, and the officer was right there. He was just about to leave, so I jumped out of the vehicle and I told him, stop right there. And he goes, okay. And I go and call the officer this way, come here. They weren't able to pat him down. And I just knew, while we were out there waiting for an officer, that if they had it somewhere hidden, that they would have hidden it, moved it to a better hiding location place. He did all he could, we did all we could. The saddest part is my girlfriend. This is it. So I wouldn't recommend that motel to anyone. We went and got the rescue lady and her husband a ride. Well, first to the gas station, because we needed gas, and we also gave them snacks. Since the husband didn't eat the previous night, I don't know why, we made sure he had snacks to eat on this day. Then we went over to the south of this city for them to just linger for a little bit, because they knew the person who lived there. We all got out of the car and started smoking, and the dude actually had gotten a call about the car that was in the shop. It was ready to get picked up. They had both said that we've helped them out tremendously so far, and that they wouldn't ask us for help. But it was in another city, and the dude's dad was at work, or he was just unavailable to give them a ride. So why the fuck not? Let's help them out. Because now that they have a car, if they don't have a place to stay, at least they have a car to stay in, and to get places in. We were down to our last cigarette in the pack. Now I have more at my house, but the rescue lady had said, here's $10 for your smokes. I had agreed to it, but I said, if I'm gonna get smokes with your $10, you're gonna get some out of it. You'll get half the pack, I get half the pack. How's that sound? She just threw it in the car. She said, here, you do with it as you please. Sound familiar? Then we went our separate ways and got lost a couple of times. Now, on this exact day, I had a hair appointment. Had all of that done and gotten out of the way, and I still was able to get my hair touched up. That's why it looks like this. But anyways, I decided to update you because I have a new look and I got some new shades. For the next time I make a Porch Stooges, I'm going to be talking about my first edible. Paces, guys. Jaka. See you in the next one.